Go ahead and do your thing.
Hey everybody, this is A.com. Another perspective. I'm solo dolo just for a few. My guys is running a little late, but I want y'all to enjoy the show anyway. We got a lot of amazing things we're gonna talk about, and some of my guys got some things that they want to talk about. We're gonna have hot topics. Well, first and foremost, I want to give a shout out and my prayers going out to the Blacher family. Rob Blacher was one of the icons of 53rd and State. Robert Taylor, the whole. He was a role model to me. He passed away. His funeral was yesterday. I didn't get a chance to see his last, you know, see him last because it was crowded. It was a lot of people who showed a lot of love, but I still made it there and let the family know that I was there. You know what I'm saying? So prayers going out to the Blacher family. And y'all keep y'all heads up because he gonna always still be in spirit. He always in my heart because he was one of the anarchies of me, gave me motivation to play football and stay into sports. Actually, to be honest, kept me alive because he did a lot of checking on me. On Ron, you already know. Uh, Tyrone, you already know how we get down. You know what I'm saying? Love for all of y'all. Hope to see y'all at the DuSable reunion so we could just, uplift that brother's name. Prayers go out to everybody. Anyway, I had a conversation the other day about how society look at black men. You know what I'm saying? Especially women, black women. And the issue was about where the government, I'm gonna talk about the AFDC, the aid, the welfare system. It's always been managed to keep the black man out of the home, so it could just be one single family. You know what I'm saying? If they gave the woman all the food stamps, and they said, "Yeah, we'll give you all of this." Back then in the early '70s, you know, beginning of the '70s and the beginning of the '80s, they will give you all these food stamps so we can give you all the cash, just don't have a man in the house. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of people, they had, well, everybody was sneaking. Some men was in the house still just to play that role because we all was on our, we was going through our own trials and tribulations, whatever the case may be. As the time go, back then they wasn't focusing in on child support or put them on child support. That was the discretion of the parent. It depends on how the situation may be. Okay, now late '80s, beginning of the '90s, now we have a new breed of women that's on welfare that has risen, generational type of deal. And now they want to put the man on child support. Yes, I am one. I'm not tripping about that. I pay it faithfully. As long as I work, they get it out of my check. I love that because one thing I don't want my kids to say that I was the deadbeat and I didn't do nothing for them. I got it in paperwork. You know what I'm saying? So, and then they can still get extra from me if they ask me. It's all good with me. But at the end of the day, they enforced the women, the mothers of these kids at the time was the only custodial parent. You know, okay, we put him on child support and we're gonna get him for child support, but they still feeding her, feeding her, feeding her, feeding her. Now, as time persists, it's like these kids now today, sisters do not have, well, I can say this, sisters have supposed to have in his life. You're supposed to have both parents. I don't care, win, lose, or draw. Daddy might be broke. It's all about showing that child that love. You know what I'm saying? So it was a heated discussion. It wasn't heated, but it was a big debate on how women think. And one woman say, "Well, I don't need no man." to be in my household for my kids. I could do it all myself. You're wrong. You can't. Because if I was a single father, I can't do it all myself because I got girls. I can't teach a girl how to be a girl because I'm not. So I'm gonna always have to have that female, my grandmother, my aunties, cousins, you know, because you're gonna that child gonna always need that one parent to give them that structural type of guideline. You know, I was talking to my son the other day, and I was letting him know that me and your mom had a heated discussion about you. You wanted to make the transition of going to Texas, and like I told him, your mom want to still have that that coverance over you. You're a 24-year-old man. It's time for you to explore to be the man that you want to be. You're a young man now. But when you go through the transitional phase of you growing up, after 2, 3 years, you'll be 27. So you start thinking as a 27-year-old, you got your girl, you want to have a family. And my son was like, man, I want to have a kid by my girl. First and foremost, son, you got to calm down. You got to be able to be steady in one spot, relaxed. She have to be comfortable. You can't be moved around all the time. But I say you grown. You're gonna have to explore the world and your life the way you see fit. So the reason why things is not going the way you want it to go because you're not stationary. I said, son, I'm only telling you something because I've been through the same trials and tribulations. You are a prime mirror of me. I know because I did the same thing. I went to state trying to find my place where I need to be in this world. You know what I'm saying? And at 24 years old, your head is like a deck of cards. I told him my head was like a deck of cards. When you shuffle them, you see all the numbers at one time going real fast. But at a certain point in your life, instead of your mind being like a deck of cards, you got to be able to play solitary. The red with the red, the diamond, the spade, the club, and so on and so the heart. You know what I'm saying? You have to set your life in a way where you can set up your goals. You got goals that you want to accomplish. I was real proud of my son. He's working. He was a manager. He got his 4A card in 26 states. He's becoming the man that he want to be. Okay. His mom would say, well, he still need guidance. He still need to have structure. You gave him all the structure you can give him. Now it's up to him to decide which area or which way he want to go with his life. You did what you could do. Cut the neighbor cord, take the breast out of his mouth and stop trying to feed him what you want him to do. He got to do what he need to do. I can't even chastise my son no more because the chastising is over. The checking is over. We instilled enough in him, you know, so it's up to him to make the decisions that he need to make for his life and his girl. And I told him you got to let your girl make some decisions too, and y'all formulate a plan together. Because at the end of the day, you've been with her 7 years. That's your third eye. She ain't going nowhere. You know what I'm saying? He want to get into a lot of things, but you have to be able to knock out one goal at a time. You can't set goals and think you can hit every goal at one time. You set your goal. The main thing you want to accomplish first, make that your main one. Then once you knock that to a point where you manage that, then you start going to the other one. And then you infuse with the one that you already had manifest, and so on and so forth. Then you'll be able to set your ground, your base. You can be able to relax. First and foremost, you have to be able to get a job to make the money. You want to be a traveling type of person, you have to get the job. You got to do something that's going to make the money. And I'm not talking about illegal. I'm talking about something legal. You're not going to be able to bust out in the world and think you're going to make $1 million in one day. You're not going to do that. And I understand he's 24 years old. His mind, sky's the limit, you know. And I thank God that he didn't get a background. He didn't go to jail and do prison time. So I respect that he want to be a free thinker. And then on top of that, he finally met one of his sisters. He came to my house. That was the biggest joy for me, to see them two see eye to eye. Y'all just don't know how much that made me feel, because I got kids and they haven't really been up under one household. I don't care about how many baby mamas I got. Y'all carry my last name. Y'all carry my bloodline. So at the end of the day, I'm daddy. And this was the biggest thing that I ever said to them, the two oldest ones. I said, my biggest dream is to have every last one of my kids up under a roof with me having one Thanksgiving dinner. I'll be okay with that. You know what I'm saying? And that, you just don't know, just to see the two oldest kids that I got meet eye to eye. And the first thing my daughter said, Daddy, he looks just like you. And then my son said, you look like him too. You know what I'm saying? And one thing we all got in common, we all got music in our blood. My daughter is a beautiful singer. My son is a rapper singer. And my two youngest boys, um, they trying to find their way into music. But my third oldest daughter, Carmen, she been traveling all over the world doing music, and was in church and school functions. So when Carmen come and I got Tuda and Lou together, man, that's the biggest Father's Day gift you can ever give me, to have all my babies, and I got my one grandbaby. You know what I'm saying? Just have them up under one roof, they connecting and gelling, getting to know each other. That's what it's all about. I don't care about the baby mamas. I got love for you. Thank you for having my kids. That's all I can say. You know what I'm saying? Thank you for breeding out some beautiful kids. You know what I'm saying? Thank you for leading them in the right direction. Even if I wasn't there, you did your job. So thank you. I appreciate y'all. And y'all supposed to get uplifted for that from that point on. But now it's my turn. It's my turn to grab my babies. Now give them the daddy structure. I'm always love you. I'm always here. Anytime you need me, I'm there. You know what I'm saying? And I got a bunch of step kids. They already know I love them. You know what I'm saying? But I just wanted to throw that out there, because us men, we don't recognize the beauty that the women have. What I know today, if I would have known back then, I might have been a little more tentative. Now we up at an age now, we need to be tentative to these sisters out here, because they need our strength. We need to step up when they don't think we're gonna step up. You know what I'm saying? Because if you see today's kids, they're lost. They like zombies. They giving the penal system their life, because they feel that they don't have a life on the street. So it's up to us to get back into these children's life, not trying to save everybody else, save your kids first. You know what I'm saying? Give them the guidance and the love and the respect. And also, you got to check them. You know what I'm saying? Let them know what they doing wrong. Don't never be scared to have a conversation with your kids, good, bad, or the ugly, and be able to answer questions when they ask you. Don't sugarcoat it, because that ain't gonna do nothing but fuse the anger that they have in you, because they don't know what was the situation. I'm not gonna never say I'm perfect. I made plenty of mistakes, but one thing I'm not gonna do is not tell them that I always loved you. I always wanted you around me, because we had situations between us grown folks that mean that it's going to spill to you. I'm here now. Let's make it happen. You know what I'm saying? So for all you brothers out there that got kids that y'all really ain't been in their life, it's that time. It's the time to put all the differences to the side and go appeal to your kids and let them know that you're there for them, regardless. Even if they don't want you there, just still be there. You ain't got to sweat them. You ain't got to call them every day, but just knock on their door. I'm here. Okay. You know what I'm saying? And let them come to you. You know what I'm saying? In due time, they will come to you, and they're going to ask you those quite difficult questions. Man up, I'm talking about the men's. Man up and be responsible and answer those questions because you can't sugarcoat it. Because after a while, they get grown too. You know what I'm saying? So I wanted to throw that issue up, because it's time for us to let it be known, and that's one of the reasons why these kids out here today feel that they're not loved because we don't say it enough. We don't express it enough. We don't demonstrate it enough. We don't put it in our household. Them my kids. You'll tell everybody else that you love your kids, but tell them that you love them because some of them don't feel that they're not being loved. You know what I'm saying? So I ain't gonna get too deep into that. And I wanted to segue into this other issue, going back to the police shooting of the 47th and right up under the L, whatever the case may be. I was looking at some news clippings and reading some certain articles where the police said that this boy had a gun in his hand. He ran, turned around, pointed the gun, then he turned around and the police shot him in the back. Now this is on the police report, but they they grabbed the cameras from the other cops that was actually on this young man, and they actually see the man not have a gun. He was jumping over a gate, running away. Okay, I know this for a fact. If a person is running away going over a gate, he's not a threat. He's not a threat to harm anyone. What he's trying to do is escape the prosecution. But for this police to lie and say he pointed the gun and then he ran, if he pointed the gun, your first instinct is to shoot. If you would have shot him in the leg, the arm, the chest, the stomach, it would have been justified. But it's not justified when you shot him in the back going over a gate. Then you lied in your report. Now I want to see if this is gonna be another uh situation with the 16 shots and the cover up. See, now the police want to all of a sudden now put the when they think they in the right, now they want to put the film out there for everybody to see it. Just like they did the guy over there on 71st Street. They hurry up because he had a gun on his waist and he was trying to get away. He turned around, put his hands on the gun. You still shot him a million times. The police supposed to be uh people that diffuses situation, not amp it up. If I was a cop and I saw a young man with a bulge and I had my partners, well, what I would have told my partners, okay, cover me. Let's approach him, but approach him in a non-hostile way. Yo, my man, we see that you got a bulge. Do you have a gun on you? Now everybody is alert that this man, everybody know that he got a gun on him. Give him the opportunity to tell the truth. Give him the opportunity to feel the wrath that is not you're not amping up the situation. Okay, let's bring it down a notch. Instead of put your hands up, and you rushing him like he killed somebody. No, you approach him in a way. If you're scared, you shouldn't be a cop. But you approach him in a way where it's not threatening to him or your comrades. You could have asked him, you know what I'm saying? Do you have a gun? If he would have said yes, do you have a 4A card or a license to carry? Then you could have made the decision from that point on to arrest him, investigate, or whatever the case may be. But see, the police today is so quick to shoot. How they say, shoot first, ask questions later. How could you ask questions if the man is dead? And then he is not able to fight for himself. You know what I'm saying? Even if he's wrong for having a gun on him, you got to prove him guilty. He's still innocent until proven guilty. You know what I'm saying? Maybe he did only have his 4A car, but he did not deserve to die if he wasn't in a threatening way. Just like that young brother. Yes, he displayed it. They had him on camera that he was playing with the gun in his pocket. He was serving drugs. That's true. Now, that's one case. But when y'all approached him, he ran. And by the time y'all got up on him, he didn't have a gun. He tossed the gun. So that means he's really not a threat. But you shoot at him anyway because he's jumping over the gate, because he outran you. He made you look stupid because you got all that heavy stuff and you can't climb a gate. See, that's where I feel that the police and the system is purging, because we can't trust you, police. I even commended some of the black cops that came in the hood. I said, man, I'm so glad that you here. He said, why? Because you're black, because you understand. He said, man, you know what? You the first person that ever said that to me. I said, well, I'm telling you this, and I don't like y'all. I'm gonna tell you the truth. My whole background is fighting y'all. But at these times and days, I am glad to see a black man in a neighborhood that's got a police uniform, because you're easier to diffuse a situation and you're not quick to shoot. He said, right, I don't feel good shooting at my own people, not alone anybody. He said, if I could talk you down, then I did my job, because we here to diffuse, not to create. So I respected that. And from that point on, we always, every time I see him, we have dialogue. You know what I'm saying? I tell him what I do, what I used to do, where I was and where I became today. And they respect that. And we got a dialogue. See, it's time to have dialogue. But one thing I can say, a white cop ain't gonna understand, because he never breathed it, smelled it, tasted, lived it, walked it ever in his life. He's from Huckleberry Finn land. He might be from the military. You know what I'm saying? Only thing he know how to do is go to war. You know what I'm saying? Then you got undercover racists. And then we got this police captain that's always talking for them. And you're a black man. My message is to you: identify who's good for the neighborhood. Identify who you can put together. I don't even say too much to a female cop. I respect her just as well as respect my mother. I'm not gonna go out there and holler and scream at her, because she's not gonna come at you that way. She say, young man, she gonna say, young man, may I talk to you? She gonna come in to you as a mother's perspective before she become a cop. Well, I've been around a lot of female cops, and they say they wouldn't do half of the stuff the men do because it's unnecessary. But they not gonna tell them that, because they'll get thrown up under the bus, or they'll get their jobs taken away. And that's a shame that you have to be quiet in order to keep your 9 to 5, or you being um outcast. You know what I'm saying? It's time to band hands. You know what I'm saying? I'm for my people, first and foremost. I'm for the sister even stronger, because I understand the struggles she have to go through. Like I said before, if I would have known what I know today, I might have been a better man. But now what I know now, I know how to be a man of my word and my character. You know what I'm saying? What you see on the outside is totally different when you're in the inside. You know what I'm saying? So we have to be mindful of what we do and how we create issues. You know what I'm saying? And we have to be able to deal with our community as a whole, not pick and chooses. Don't show favoritism because one person live on Wabash and the other person live on State Street. I'm just using that as a subliminal. They need to go back over there. No, won't you embrace them and show them the love that you give your own neighbors? You know what I'm saying? We have to, because ain't nobody gonna. We have to trust each other. We the only race that's divided, because we have our own issues. You know what I'm saying? Let's deal with our issues, and then we can be able to spread the love throughout the universe and throughout the community, and be able to have one happy union where we don't have to bury our kids. I'd rather go to an old folks funeral than go into a young man's or a young girl's funeral. It's a shame that you have babies getting shot. The youngest here, 7 years old, got shot in the head. 14. I don't care how old they are. They don't deserve to die. You know what I'm saying? Don't nobody deserve to die in the manner that they dying today. I sing that too many times. I'm tired of every time I wake up in the morning and I turn on the television. I'd rather hear about Trump and his weirdness than hear about over there on Lawndale, 5 people get shot, a baby in critical condition, or somebody in Chatham area walking down the street, two 12-year-old, 14-year-olds getting killed. Aren't y'all tired of hearing that? I'm tired of it. Because that's all that the media focus on the negative with black folks or Latinos. I can't even talk about the Latinos because I'm not Latino, so I don't know what's their thoughts, feelings, and behavior. But you best believe we walk in the parallel line. You know what I'm saying? Y'all chime in and y'all tell me how y'all feel. This is a show for y'all to speak your piece. That's why it's called Another Perspective. I don't have all the answers. Only thing I could give you is what's my thoughts, feelings, and behaviors about it. If you like it, you like it. If you don't, I'm not mad at you because you got your own. And that's what this platform is for. Let's have dialogue. Let's share ideas. Share formats so we can be better as people, human beings. Because right now we label as savages. You know what I'm saying? To them, we're unpredictable. Yes, we're mad. Yes, the years of us struggling and being abused by the system and that and the other. But that should not change your character, who you are, and what's the essence of your family. Remember, you always had that uncle, grandfather, grandmother, auntie that always instilled the right things in your head. Back then, she just talking, that's old. But now what she say now, the stuff that she used to say then, now if y'all think about it, wasn't she or he telling the truth? Because at the time, we wasn't worried about bills. We wasn't worried about gas. We wasn't worried about light. We weren't really worried about food because we always thought our parents would have it. You understand what I'm saying? But after a while, our parents got to leave this earth and go back to their heavenly Father. Then it's on us to carry that legacy and that teachings of our family, our elders. And but right now, you got young kids that don't even respect their elders, jumping on their grandmama, jumping on their mama or their grandfather, stealing from them. You know what I'm saying? Instead of asking or you accept no, that means you get out there and do what you have to do. Shine shoes, sell papers, sell water, juices, CDs, DVDs, whatever, to make $1 out of 15 cents. Collect cans. I remember we used to walk around in the alleys and try to find the Coca-Cola bottles. Get 10 cents. We rinse them out real good because you can take them to the store dirty, but at least if you rinse them out real good and put them in a format, you would have got paid for them. Yeah, people don't like to sweat and work for what they need to get in life. They want to take it or they want the quick buck. I know because I was that same person. You understand where I'm coming from? So we have to support each other, the good, the bad, and the ugly. You know what I'm saying? But we're gonna go to commercial because I think I hear my guys coming in, so I'm gonna make sure they set up. This is Ace the Real IntellectualRadio.com. Hey, this is Ace the Real IntellectualRadio.com. I got my guys on the side. I want y'all to represent.
Hey everybody, what's up? Peace and love out there in Chicagoland. It's your boy Chris Davis, aka Smooth Cuts in the building. What's up, y'all?
Hey, and I'm Maurice Walls, aka Maurice Walls. And to my immediate right, good to have the family back. You
already know what it is. It's your boy Kareem, Mr. Let's Talk About It, and we definitely want to talk about it. Let's go.
Get it.
All right, Reese, you was talking about something that I had opened up with, with shootings and stuff like that. So go into your Safeway on into what you was talking about.
Well, you guys know what happened down in Florida. I think it was Clearwater, Florida, and I'm still they call it Clearwater, but I'm still very unclear and fuzzy on this stand your ground law. You've got to be friggin' kidding me. I almost said the wrong word, but we're not allowed to curse on there. But you got to be friggin' kidding me, dude. So here's the scenario. You guys know, so this is what happened. They were in a parking lot at a convenience store, and this brother in his 30s, African-American brother, he came out to defend his wife and kids because this cantankerous, racist, older white man who's had issues in the past with dealing with other people issues in the past about people parking in this one particular parking spot designated for handicapped drivers. And I think, to my knowledge, based on what I read, what happened was that the lady, she actually pulled over to make room for this racist two-legged animal. He came over there, he's hollering, screaming at her. So what happens is the husband comes out the store, he sees this, and as any man who loves his woman and his child,
with
right, is going to defend his woman,
protect his family.
Or protect his family. Absolutely. Right. That's be stand your ground right there. So, we don't hear what's being said, but I know this dude's probably saying some dirty, foul, nasty things to a woman that you're not supposed to say to a woman with children. Mm-hmm. And he shoved them down. He shoved the man down. And this man, and he gets ready, and the brother gets ready to walk away. And this white man on the ground, this two-legged animal, this evil monster, pulls out a gun and shoots the man in his chest. The man, the brother goes into the convenience stores and dies right in front of his 5-year-old son. And what they're saying is, in Clearwater, Florida, this is justified. This sheriff comes on the TV and for 30 minutes is trying to explain how this is justified. He said the guy would be alive if he hadn't shoved the man down. But the thing is, he didn't pull a weapon on that man. All that man had to do was get up and use his fist. If he, if he's want to fight for this if this parking spot meant so much to him, I mean, I guess this parking spot is the God of his life. Everything that's going to save him from spending any more taxes or protect all the freedom that he's ever been given. This parking spot, if it meant that much, he should have got up and fought. This man pulled out a gun, shot this brother, and murdered, not killed. I told y'all there's a difference between murder and killing. You cannot murder somebody in self-defense. All right, you know what I'm saying? He murdered that man. That was cold-blooded murder, and the laws
in charge.
He was in charge. He got off because of stand your ground.
I have no problem with the stand your ground law. I think if we had that in Chicago, it'd be less crime. I just hate the fact that how the situation occurred. The guy did get pushed on the ground, but the guy that got shot was walking backwards.
Yeah, absolutely.
He wasn't an immediate threat. After that push, he, from looking at or reading his body language, he wasn't going to do anything more than that. He was standing back by the car just to see if the guy was going to come back and attack him after that push. Mm-hmm. Protect your family. Look, get away from my family, get away from my kids with all that. You know what I'm saying? And so instead of the guy getting up and just maybe walking away, he shot a victim that was retreating. Right. Someone that was retreating, not someone that was running towards him with the physicality that he was going to try to harm him again. Yes. He was walking back. And so more so in a defensive manner to protect whoever was in the car behind him. And for them to say that is justified by law, that is wrong. Because I know in Chicago, if someone comes in your home, right, and say like they come in, they catch you sleeping, they stab you up, and you still have enough energy to grab a gun and shoot them while on the way out, you're going to go to jail.
Right.
Because that man was walking away. Even though he just stabbed you, he was walking away. Mm-hmm. And by you shooting him in the back and killing him, you're going to go to jail because that person who just stabbed you up was running away. He was in a defensive amount. He
immediate
wasn't immediate. He was no longer an immediate threat. And when I went to security class, they told me a story like this where the victim who got stabbed up actually did 5 years in jail because of that.
Yes.
But you know,
Because he shot the man?
because the man came in trying to do a home robbery on him, and he stabbed him up. And while the man was running out the door, he shot the man.
And
the guy who got stabbed up still did 5 years.
Wow.
That's so unjustified.
And see, that's what I'm saying. And even in saying this is in relation to working as a security guard, but they teach us not to, as far even if we're armed and we're in a situation, we only could use the gun if our back against the wall and there's no other way or nothing else we can do. But if we have an opportunity to run or get away, then do that. In this case, his back wasn't against the wall.
Okay.
He did not have to shoot. He could have walked away. He could have went back and got in his car. And that's why I say
called the police.
right. That's why I say it's not justified by that, because even though the guy pushed him, the guy was retreating and no longer became an immediate threat to that man.
So my question is about let's go back to the Chicago shooting that happened with the barber and the 2 police officers.
I talked about
I haven't heard
the
about
last
that. I
segment.
haven't heard about that. Enlighten me on that.
Well, what happened was I was told that it was a black officer was with the barber. I can't remember the young fella's name. The 2 police officers, there was a white female officer and a white male officer. They grabbed the guy and he turned away. And I guess they said that he raised his shirt to show that he was a concealed weapon.
No, she raised his shirt.
Oh, she raised the shirt?
Yes, that white officer.
So
raised
basically, he kind of like went back. Now, mind you, they both one of them pulled out the gun and started proceeding to shooting at him. So they looked at it as a self-defense mode on that note.
This one on 71st, right?
Yes, it was.
71st. Okay,
But
I know.
the camera shows. This is exactly
what you're
what I
talking
saw. The camera showed that they approached him while he was facing the door.
So he was.
He was not in a position of doing anything illegal. What happened? The police saw the bulge in his shirt.
Okay.
And I just said this the last segment. Instead of them diffusing the situation,
They
escalated by rushing him, not asking any questions, because he's a big guy with dreadlocks and he had on all black. You assume that he's a criminal. Now I'm gonna tell you something. I'm from the hood. I didn't seen things and I have done things. We're not gonna be walking down the street while the police is right there with a banger on you.
Right.
So this man, but see, they didn't even ask if he was a security guard, because at the end of the day,
But he was a concealed weapon.
Yeah, but at the end of the day,
if
they would have de-escalated by asking questions, approached them in a way that is not making him skittish or making his blood pressure go up, so he can. Because remember, off an act is a react, and then it's action. The AAAs. You see what I'm saying? But if they would approach them in a manner where it would have de-escalated and asked questions, are you licensed? Even when they surrounded him, but gave him enough space where he can feel comfortable to turn around with his hands visible. And they could have said, are you they could have asked 3 simple questions. Are you licensed to carry? Do you have your FOIA card and your license to carry card? They could have asked that. Or let me finish.
I got you.
So once they asked those questions, then you had an option not to kill, but disarm them, put handcuffs on them, and then investigate thoroughly. That's all I'm saying.
Well, you got to look at it on both sides. And I agree with what Brother Ace was saying. If that had been a white suspect, they probably would have came at it in a manageable way as well.
Well, I've seen videos on YouTube and social networks where I've seen white guys with guns physically point the gun at the white officer and still remain to be alive. And the white officer didn't pull out a gun, he pulled out a taser. So I done seen videos on YouTube and social media where white people are literally fighting with officers, and they're still alive. Now, in this case, I think this is a tale of two sides. I think the brother who got killed could have reacted better, because when you're licensed to carry, in this case, you have to notify the police that you're licensed to carry. You have to let them physically disarm you,
Uh-huh.
and then show them your paperwork. You have to let them do that.
Uh-huh.
By him reacting and running away and then grabbing for his gun, he made it justified for the officers, because now if he's going for his win, that's an immediate threat right there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So we have to understand that sometimes police officers come to us to escalate this situation in order to get the wrong, or in their case, the right reaction out of us, for them to put us in a situation where they
can kill and they got bars.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here's another interesting thing about this story. Yeah, the barber, and we're gonna get back to the stand your ground law, but it's good that we're talking about this. Here's the thing: being in that particular community over there on 71st is the east southeast side. What police have to understand is this, and Brother Ace made a very significant point. He made an ultimate point. Why escalate the situation when the two officers there that were on the scene? First of all, those were the officers that were actually doing the training. The white officer that committed the murders, what I call it, was a PPO. That's a person that's in training.
It's a rookie. She was a rookie, right?
Right. She was in training.
Right.
So, they're doing ride-alongs.
Right along.
So the thing about it is what we have to really take into consideration is that brother has been robbed before. People don't know that.
See, I didn't know about that.
That brother has been robbed. Yes, before. And the thing about it is, one second, Brother Chris. One second. I know you itching. One thing about it is you have to ask, why wouldn't he be carrying a gun in this community, especially considering the fact you guys know what is happening and for all the people out there in Chicago listening to this. This happened over there on 71st, man. In Jeffrey, near that area. Man, it's tough over there, man.
I lived on Paxton and Merle for over 10 years.
People gonna carry some bangers.
I know how that area is.
Yeah.
It's one of those areas where it's bad over there, especially in the summertime.
And I want to ask you something. Being a barber, you guys carry cash, don't you?
Yes.
Exactly.
Okay, but we got to make sure everything is copacetic. And I personally don't like to stay late like this, because at the end of the day, I have to go home to my family.
Right. And also, but they could have diffused the problem.
Yeah,
the guy, his friends that was at the barber, at the barber shop.
So was he on duty?
He was just leaving.
Yeah, he was just leaving.
Okay. See, the thing is,
it's crazy.
If y'all know, the area is kind of messed up.
Yeah, the area is rough, man.
I looked at it like this: he was actually protecting the work site.
Hello.
He the only one that had a FOIA card out of all of. Come on,
yeah, because they ran up in the barbers in the city.
I ain't gonna say 99, but I say 65 to 70% of the barbers in the city are convicted felons.
Absolutely.
They ran up in that barbershop before. And it's a lot of dudes. It's a lot of young dudes. You got to understand, on 71st and Jeffrey, my bad for cutting you off.
No, go ahead, man.
You got to understand, with 71st and Jeffrey, you got two different gangs. You got GDs and you got BDs, just a couple blocks away from each other.
And then you got some.
So you go down towards Paxton.
Yeah.
You go down towards 71st and Paxton. You down there with the GDs, but you go 2 blocks up and you get closer to Jeffrey. You down there with the BDs.
Yeah.
So
you got Vice Lords,
right?
The Bump J boys.
And they're just a couple blocks away. And these not just. I'm not talking about 10, 12. I'm talking about 1 or 2 blocks away from each other.
And that's crazy.
So a lot of stuff. That's how it was when I was growing up over in that area. But I was cool around there for a lot of reasons. Getting cool with some of the guys doing music. Just being me. You know what I'm saying, and helping out when it came to music and stuff like that. A lot of people rock with me over there. So I was able to walk around. But I done seen shootings over there where people shooting into a crowd of kids
Yeah.
just getting out of school. An old lady got shot in the leg. Like it's like when shootouts happen over there, they happen, and they don't care who's out. I done seen people get popped in broad daylight over there. Like it ain't at any point in time over there.
Get greasy over there.
At any point in time, something over there can happen. I don't care if it's daylight or if it's at dark. If it's dark, you know what I'm saying. But my thing with the police, I think they have too much power.
Oh,
Way too much powder.
And not to cut you off, but it was I saw it this morning. No, was it Sunday? Yeah, what's today? Sunday, right?
Sunday.
Yeah.
It was this morning and yesterday that they was coming out with a referendum about police. It's like a justification or something that they had. It was like laws that they had to go by, and they was about to pass it, but Donald Trump made a some type of statement through the grapevine or whatever. What it is, it's supposed to have been some type of letter of content that comes from the police where they had to go by certain guidelines.
Well, like a new reform.
Reform where they had it's basic a referendum where they had to de-escalate instead of escalate.
I say this though. I look at it like this though. Who pays the police?
Us,
right?
Citizens.
So why isn't a citizens a group or board put together ran by citizens that can hold officers accountable?
That's what they got
for
now.
Their deeds. If we're gonna pay them, because like we pay these police officers, but we don't choose who get hired.
Right.
And we have no say so in that. And so if we paying y'all and y'all could come kill us when y'all want, I ain't feeling that. And I feel as though if a police, especially you got all types of police, some just racist. I feel as though if I'm being threatened by police officers and he's acting outside of the guidelines of what is being asked of him, as far as him being a police officer, at that point, he is no longer a police officer. He is an average citizen. And if I feel threatened, I should be able to defend myself against that person. Because if you're going to go outside of your duties and the guidelines that are set for you as a police officer, at that point, you're no longer a police officer. And I should be able to defend myself against you because now I feel threatened, not by a police officer, but by a regular citizen with
a road cop. That's what they call road cops.
I call them rental cops.
Yeah.
If you look at it. So what? Now my question back to the officer was, who was patrolling that area before that guy was killed in that area? That's yeah. I was told, was it a black officer? Because I was told that the black officer patrolled that whole area. So why you need more cops to patrol that whole area if you got somewhere else to go? It could have been like a drug case or a gun case, whatever. But I was told that it was one officer, a black officer, patrolled that whole area.
Because you know why? I'm sorry, but in other words, to me, when other cops come on somebody else's beat, that's their beat. Right. The black cop, that was his beat. But when other officers that comes on on another officer's beat, they looking for trouble. Because now they trying to make it seem like he's incompetent. You know what I'm saying? If you notice, I seen it the other day. Here it is. It was a minor. It was a minor collision. But here it is. You get SUVs, and here it is. You got 5 white men with the hat all back, covered in black. They in black fatigues. They got, guns everywhere, and they jump out. Are you all right? All right. Matter of fact, it was an accident. No, it wasn't an accident. A black man had a seizure right there on 71st and King Drive. I was riding past my, nursing home. Senses kicked in. I pulled over. You know what I'm saying? Even though I work in maintenance, but I got CPR classes. I know how to deal with seizures because I have an uncle that had seizures. I'm directing them without touching him. Turn him on his side. Don't stick nothing in his mouth. Just let him ride it out. let him, at least when you turn him on his side, that opens up his waves. You can't have him on his back. You can't have him on his stomach. Gotta have him at least so any saliva that's in there, it can spill out and he'll have an airway. And he'll be gagging, but you'd rather for him to gag. I'm giving this. So these detectives swoop. I mean, ooh, and it was a black cop that's his beat. Now I talk to this guy all the time. You know what I'm saying? Over there by Kill Crib. You know what I'm saying? I talk to this guy, he be at the gas station all the time. Black, cool cop. He understands, you know? And for me to see 2 or 3 SUVs with nothing but white boys coming out of there and they ready to kill. They all of a sudden, I got flaggers, I got a flaggers certification. You get out the street. I'm the safety. And I'm OSHA. Get the hell out the street. That's why, hey, you move. Because if I have to pull out my credentials, I can. Because my credentials is just like you. I just don't have a gun. And I'm not sworn in as a cop. But I can, as my title that I have, I can, if I see something that's unsafe, I am obligated to shut it down.
Right.
You feel what I'm saying? So you move. So I didn't have to go through that because of the simple fact they understood. They saw me with my vest on. They automatically knew what I was. You know what I'm saying? You saw what happened? He fell out. I pulled the corner. I got your credentials and everything. CPR, safety, OSHA, the whole 9. If you need me to move this car with a forklift, I can do that too. But the point is to save that brother. And not one of them cops, not one time, rush him to try to help him or try to secure him. So it was people, dope fiends, drunks, everybody that swarmed that brother was trying to help that brother. While they looked around and watch him, they wanted him to die.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
It's probable cause, man.
And you know, Kareem hit a really good point, man. Since we're talking about police and we're talking about the laws and these powers to be, you know, all this new institution that we call the police, man, is really nothing but an antecedent of slave patrols.
That's it.
That's all it comes from.
That's
I hope you hear that.
And I hope they hear
it's an antecedent of slave patrols, and that's why they abuse their power. It is the continuity of something that started back in South Carolina and Virginia in the late 1700s. You started off with overseers, and now you have officers. Overseers, just check it's synonymous.
Don't cross the gun line, boss.
Yeah.
It's synonymous. But getting back to the stand your ground law, now we got, because I know we're going to be ending the show soon, but what I want to talk to you about, well, everybody on the panel and everybody that's chiming in, thank you for chiming in. It's IntellectualRadio.com. Another perspective. Stand your ground law, to me, in my perspective, is almost like a license to kill.
Exactly. That's what it is. Florida, you got to think about what Florida did. Rosewood, they was using black babies to catch alligators. They still off that same mentality, bro. So now, since we so-called got these rights, black folks, now they come out with the stand your grounds law. Think about it, Trayvon Martin. You know what I'm saying?
One of the biggest cases.
And Clearwater is right across the bridge from where I used to live in Tampa. So I understand. You know what I'm saying? But my thing is to stand your grounds. Mm-hmm. I can understand if you're in a hostile situation. I can see if you're being robbed. I can see if somebody breaking in your house. I can even see somebody outside your house trying to what about if somebody trying to put a burnt cross in your yard? Ooh. You see what I'm saying? But that's how it was. See, Florida is very racist from the governor on down, you know, and because you got a bunch of brothers and sisters that's not using the system for themselves, because they got a lot of things going on for the good too. But people is so into the zombie stage that they lost the motivation of self.
I'm just tired of seeing it all, man. I think as a people, we need to educate ourselves on the laws. But also, I think as a people, at some point, we need to get fed up. But we're so comfortable with our masters. Ooh. You know, we're so comfortable with our masters. it's crazy.
We've
And
assimilated.
It's like we've
Yeah.
been brainwashed over the period of
We've
time.
been bad. And then you got the police. They're nothing but a gang that's put in place to protect the rich from the poor.
The Blue Klux
Yeah,
Klan.
to
Say
protect
that
the
again.
rich from the poor. That's the only thing the police is there for. Um, and I put on a Facebook post. I said, religion is religion is the thing that is stopping poor people from killing rich people, and that's what I mean about being dependent on their master. When you in a system, when you're in a system where your hopes and your dreams and things like that is depending on the God of your master,
Mhm.
the God that your master gave you, then instead of looking into the God in yourself, instead of believing in yourself, you're going to seek decisions outside of yourself. So when we get killed, when a white gunman went up in a church, killed 9 people, when police officers kill us on the street, instead of reacting and saying, "Hey, tit for tat,
Mhm.
do on others as they do on you,"
Right.
we just gonna pray to God.
Just pray to
We just
God.
gonna hope that one day somebody gonna fly down on a cloud
With a
and
thunderbolt.
yeah, or a thunderbolt, and just go and then
Swim
he gonna
away.
make up for all the things that we're dealing with. And I think at some point we have to get fed up, and this on our end too, because whenever you get a large amount of the same people in a small area with a lack of resources, it's inevitable that they're gonna kill each other. And so when we kill each other at a rapid rate like that, it make it easier not only for other people to come in and kill us and then blame it on the killing that's going
Mhm.
on,
Mhm.
but it make it justified because you hear it in the news all the time. Well, black people kill each other all the time. Y'all don't say nothing about that.
Oh
You
yes,
hear
we
that all
do.
the time when you see police officers. I just think we need to. I think we need to get the greatest. We are the greatest threat to the system.
I agree.
We are the greatest threat to the system when we understand who we are and what we are, and when we understand to come together and assemble. When the young people get fed up, and when we start saying no more, then it's going to be a problem.
You know what I was just to feed off of what you just said. Now I'm gonna tell you, I'm in the streets all the time, and I talk to all the little guys, some older cats, and this is the and I should and I'm gonna say it gingerly, but the whispers now is to the point where all the gangs, community activists, religious leaders is talking about band hands
Got to,
and go to war.
got to,
Have to.
you got
See,
to.
There's
the
no
more
other way.
let me tell you something. When the police get, say for instance, within a 4 month span, the police get 4,000 guns off the streets. 40,000 is coming on the streets.
Because
Them are throwaways.
Chicago is
They
the
not
hub.
telling you that the pin has been broke, or the trigger has been bent, or the barrel had got so hot from them just firing it swelled. They not telling you that. They just telling you 4,000
4,000
guns. But every time they get a gun,
It's
from one gun, 20 guns is here. Now, what it is, a lot of these young folks and we getting these expungements. Now they at a point where they want to protect themselves, not just from the streets, but it's a shame that we have to protect ourselves from the police.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I mean,
Just like they raided that old woman's house,
Right.
raided her house, tore it up, and did whatever they had to do to try to find drugs in there. She didn't have one bag, nothing. They gonna go into a windowsill where rain, dust, maybe rat droplets, whatever the case, gonna say that they saw drug residue. Really?
I said
To
it's
justify tearing that woman's house up?
Oh
well,
my
Chicago
God.
is the hub for everything. Everything comes through Chicago, and then whether you're talking about drugs, whether you're talking about guns or anything like that. Everything comes here and then spread out to other cities. So it's inevitable as far as, and Ace right, when you take 4,000 guns off the street, you're gonna get double or quadruple that right back into people's hands. And the system, and it's not that, it's just because it's designed that way. And they're gonna keep flooding the cities and the youth. It's like back in the day, people go in the alley, see a box full of guns, somebody left, but seriously left there, and people go walk the banner and run off and do their thing. But I would say this, and one thing that Farrakhan said is that at some point we have to fight back. It's going to be casualties. It's going to be, you're going to have to sacrifice, and we might lose a lot of people, but we have to fight back. One of the things our ancestors did is that, and you go back to the Shaka Zulu tribe and all that stuff, them people fought. Oh. When the white man came over, they just didn't give up. I think we're in the system now where we've got too lackadaisical. We think that protesting and marching, and there's nothing wrong with that. I don't have nothing against that. But sometimes you gotta put down the bullhorns and then where you're gonna say, well, you can't fight evil. We're evil. Well, let me tell you something. This evil that we're fighting, it is beyond your government officials. It is beyond your president's officials. They are just puppets. They are just the
devil we're fighting against.
Yeah, these people that the system that we're fighting against, they don't care about what you say. They don't care about your person. They don't care about your marching or anything. Because at the end of the day, wherever they tell those politicians to do, whatever laws they want them politicians to put in place, they are going to do what they're told because their family and their lives is at jeopardy. At the end of the day, the agenda, the system, they don't care. These are some of the most evil people in the world. Right. And I'm telling you now, and Martin Luther King realized this when he said, I led my people in a burning building. He realized that nonviolent movement, having our people sit there and just let dogs and all that stuff, as if these people one day was going to come to realize their evil deeds and turn things around and change. No, they're not. They know what they're doing. They understand what they're doing and they want to do it. We have to fight back. You can't take back in peace what was took in blood. That white man sacrificed his people when he was going to take over places and land from people. They fought, they lost people, but look where they at. They want us to tell us that our heaven is coming after we die while they had a heaven now. Nah, bro. I ain't gone. We need to fight.
That's right.
We need to fight.
Even the Bible says that the kingdom of violence, the kingdom of heaven suffereth violence, and the violent shall take it by force. What do you think we need to do? That's in the Bible.
You're right about that.
The kingdom of heaven suffered violence, and the violent shall take it by force. That's biblical.
Man, sometimes you gotta fight. Sometimes you gotta sometimes you gotta fight back. I'm just being honest, man.
You have to.
Sometimes you gotta fight back. At the end of the day, at the end of the day, we didn't protest things for years and years and years and years. And now with Trump in office, these closet racists is coming out and thinking they could just, you're in Starbucks, they're calling the police on you. You at a swimming pool at a place that you would live at.
Selling water.
They call that you selling water. You're mowing the lawn. You can't do anything.
You're barbecuing in a park.
You're just being black, and they call the police on you, and they doing this just purposely. And I think we just have to set that tone, man. That look, man, we know what y'all did back in the day, but this ain't that. This ain't that.
So we got about a good 2 more minutes because Earl gave us a 15 minutes over. So I thank you, Earl, for letting us get that little 15 minutes in. Yeah. But I want everybody to have their last word and give me and give the people y'all final thoughts. Start off with Chris.
Well, my final thoughts with the whole incident that happened. The only thing I could say is that what Brother K was saying, just keep fighting what you stand for. We the people that built this nation, and we got to stand our grounds to fight back. Don't ever give up. Keep striving. We got to put this in our children as well. So we cannot lose this battle because we amongst ourselves has to stand strong and fight this battle.
Amen. I want to say to people out there in the world, Thank you once again for chiming in. It's just IntellectualRadio.com. Don't expect anybody to believe in you if you don't believe in yourself.
Deep.
God is in us.
Facts.
Why do we keep looking up to the sky to look for this God is going to come and help us when God is in us? He said, I made you in my image. He said, I made you in my likeness. Guess what? That means that we are gods. So we're not going to sit. You can't just sit there and let this devil. But the devil, what he's talking about, we're not talking about the devil, some red animal with a tail and two horns. We're talking about the man in the flesh with blue eyes. We're talking about a real devil, people, a real two-legged animal, okay? You ain't going to just stand there and just let this devil just walk and trample all over. You need to ignite that God in you, ignite that fire, and fight for what's right so we can enjoy the luxury of being in this kingdom of heaven on earth.
I would say study yourself, study your spirituality, start investigating your lineage and where you come from, because you have to question the history that's been told. I just want to be sure here. My manager, they just tracked their lineage back to
West Africa or
no. What's the?
Give me a geographical location. I'll help you. Is it
Lucky Charms? What's that race? The Lucky
Irish?
Irish. Okay, he tracked this lineage back to Irish people. I went to brain freeze. But he tracked his lineage way back and found out that his father, his great grandfather was Irish, and he tracked it back to a time where you had white people and black people living together in a time where slavery was supposed to have been going on freely. A white man married to a black woman in a time where slavery was supposed to have been going on.
What?
So you got to question history, even slavery. Did it really exist? Did it really happen? Well, we know it happened, but to an extent, how did it happen? Because back at this time, to see a white man married to a black woman and have a white and black family just around kicking it and growing and living together with, that's a bit. You know what I'm saying?
So maybe that was an isolated town.
No, I had another story with one of my coworkers, the same thing.
Yeah.
And so I was like, you know what? I'm gonna look into this because it's some people that even question the transatlantic slavery and about whether it happened or not. So I would say study yourself, study your spirituality, get involved in your lineage and where you come from, and you'll all find out that we're all linked together. It's no such thing as color or anything like that. We're all human beings. Right. Race, color, Democrat, all those are divisive tools used to keep us divided. Yeah. And we must understand that. But peace and blessings. This is, IntellectualRadio.com, another perspective. Shout out to my man Ace Chris Maurice, aka Mr. Maurice. I felt good to be back, man. I can't wait till we do this again.
Well, automatically, I'm gonna give y'all my last words. I feel like this,
Brother Ace.
Yes. My last words to you all is stay prayed up, love family, take care of your community, and respect self.
Yes.
And also respect these sisters, because without them, it's no me. Woo! I'm Ace the Real, IntellectualRadio.com, another perspective.
And I'm Chris Davis, aka Smooth Cuts.
Maurice Walls, aka Maurice Walls. Thank you so much for chiming in. And to my immediate right,
it's your boy Kareem, Mr. Let's Talk About It, and thanking y'all for tuning in to talk about it.
Yeah,
IntellectualRadio.com, another perspective.
It's all about you tonight. It's all about you tonight, baby. So go ahead and do your thing as we step in. Cameras are flickering. Glasses are tingling, champagne I'm sipping.